This is an unusual problem and a very hard problem. So first of all, notice that the question itself asks us for the approximate area. And second of all, the intervals that they're giving us, these are gigantic intervals. You could drive a truck through one of these intervals. So we're given carte blanche to use a lot of approximation in this problem. This would be a very, very hard problem to find an exact answer. We don't need to worry about that. All we need to do is approximate. So we will approximate. The whole circle, of course, it has a radius of 10, so the whole circle would be 100 pi. That's the exact area. Well, let's think about this. Pi is around 3.14, so that means the approximate area would be around 314. So that's the area of the whole circle. We'll approximate that as 314. So part of that, the region Q that we're finding, is a quarter circle, a right angle slice of pi. So that's going to be 314 divided by 4, which is 78.5. So that's part of our region right there. Now we're going to make the biggest rectangle under that quarter. We're just going to approximate. Obviously that's not a pure rectangle shape, but I'm going to approximate it with a rectangle. And it turns out the height, of course, is 4. It goes from the x-axis up to the center. And the width, well, that far right x-coordinate is 16, 4. It goes out to 16. So the rectangle is not going to go quite that far. It's going to be inside. So it's going to have a width of around 15. 15 is a good approximation for that width. And so it's a 4 by 15 or 60. So that's another chunk of the area. So we have 2 chunks of the area so far. The last chunk is that region to the left. And so we're going to make another rectangle to the left of that. It's going to start at the height of the radius, so it doesn't overlap with the lower rectangle. It's going to start at the height of the radius, which is 4, and go up to 12. So that's 8 units tall, and of course it's 6 units wide, and so that's an area of 48. So those are the 3 chunks. And obviously for each one, there's a little bit of leftover space. Here we could see that there's this kind of leftover space up there. So we're going to add our 3 chunks, and we're going to know that it's going to be a little bit more than the sum of those 3 chunks. But first, let's just add up those 3 chunks. These add up. Of course, one way to add 60 and 48 is to add the 60 and 40 first and get 100. And so what this winds up being is 186.5. And as I said, we know the answer is going to be a little more than this because there are those little curved areas at the end that we're going to have to add in. So we're probably going to be more up around the high 180s or the low 190s, somewhere in that region. That's what we're approximating. Well, now let's go back to the answer choices. Well, clearly, we're right in the middle of region C. And region C is the correct answer.